What's up guys, Harsh here, back in the video. So in this video I'm going to review and unbox a Raspberry Pi 4B starter kit. So this is basically a starter kit which includes everything that you need to get started with Raspberry Pi, and this is all the basic stuff. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so here is the PiBox Raspberry Pi combo. So it's in a pretty compact box and there are a lot of little stuff in here, so I will try to keep a track on that. So let's open this box and see what's inside. So first of all, you get a PiBox book over here. So I think this is the pin out option over here, so you can see what pins are what in the Raspberry Pi, and there are some, I think, useful commands over here that you can use with your Raspberry Pi, and I think it's for the camera interface and all that stuff. So it's pretty nice, starter guide type thing. Then I think here is a little thank you letter or help letter, I think, so doesn't matter. And here's a checklist. So if you want to start up this project and doesn't know what to do, so please make sure you follow this checklist. So there are do's and don'ts, so that's pretty nice that they include this. And also up here we have a hard cardboard printed diagram of all the pins that are in the Raspberry Pi, so that's pretty nice. So this will be really helpful for you. Then for some reason you get a PiBox carrying pouch. So this is not very useful in my case, but for some people it might be really useful, so it's nice that they included this pouch over here. Then here is our power adapter. So I think this is a 3 amp power adapter. Yes, it's a 3 amp. It's written over here, so it's enough for powering the Raspberry Pi, so that's pretty nice. And there is actually a type C cable which is right over here. So they took out the micro USB and put in a type C cable separately, and this is a little bit of special type C cable because it has a little button on it, so you can turn off and turn it on, or cut the power supply if you want to the Raspberry Pi. So this is a pretty nice feature because I struggle with my Arduino a lot in turning it off and on again, so this is pretty nice inclusion. Then we have our LAN cable. So it's, I think, yeah, standard LAN cable, nothing too crazy about it, and it's 1.5 meters, I think, so pretty standard cable. You don't really need this much of length, but still good to have a few extra lengths. Then surprisingly there is a mouse, and this is a simple cheap quality mouse. You can find it for $1, I think, on wholesale prices. So I'll be using a different mouse, but it's still nice to have one in the box. So the roller is pretty stiff and the clicks are decent, and it's an optical sensor, so this will shoot red light out of here. Then here is our heatsink component. So these are small heat sinks that will go onto the processor, and this is pretty nice to have because the Raspberry Pi gets very hot when you turn it on, so having these will cool down its processor and make sure that it will run for a very long time. Then here is the micro HDMI to full HDMI cable. This is also a pretty nice inclusion, and I think it's a necessary one because some of you might not have a screen, but with this cable you can turn your HDMI TV into a Raspberry Pi screen, so that's pretty nice to have. And Raspberry Pi have 2 HDMI outputs, so that's a pretty good feature as well. Then I don't know what this is, but to my understanding this is a phone stand. So you just take it out like this, flip this over here, and there are actually little grooves to set it in place at different angles. So you can just set it like so, and it's create a very hefty stand for your smartphone or whatever you want to place over here, so that's pretty nice. Then we have a micro SD card. So this will be used for flashing firmwares or windows in your Raspberry Pi micro SD card, so this is pretty nice to have. And then here is a little fan for the case, the cooling case, which is this one over here. So this cooling case will go on the Raspberry Pi with this cooling fan and the heatsink, so this will create a very great heating solution combo. At the second last place is our Raspberry Pi over here. So let's take it out of the box and see how it is, and just as always looking magnificent. So as you can see, a simple Raspberry Pi 4, nothing too special. I will go into in-depth review in a later video, but this is just an unboxing of the Raspberry Pi. So you get two USB 2 ports, USB 3, then a LAN and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth somewhere on the board. It has two micro HDMI's, Type C cable, camera attachment, LCD attachment, and a headphone jack, and all the pins that are required for the necessary connections. And in the box we get a few manuals again with the thing. So I think it's a simple basic method on how you can place it and how you cannot place it, so nothing too special. And here is a safety and user guide which comes with every electronic devices now. At last we have a micro SD card included. So this is a 16 gig micro SD card, but unfortunately this is not enough for me, and for that reason I will be using a 64 gigabyte card. So you can still use a 16 gigabyte, but I think it might not be enough for your case, but still 16 is good enough. But for me, I have a spare 64 card, so I will be using that. Now let's take a closer look at the heat sink component. So this is actually a 3-piece set over here. So let's just take it out of the case and see how it is. So this top just comes out like so, and then here in the middle your Raspberry Pi will go. It actually pops out from the bottom as well, and it's a pretty tricky process, but I will try to get it out on camera. So yeah, just like that it comes out. So there are a total of 3 pieces. So your Raspberry Pi first will sit in this plate over here, then this plate will go underneath this main compartment over here, just like so, and from the top you can just use this plate to just pop it on top, and obviously you will need to attach the fan to it. So let's just take a look at the fan. So this is actually, I think, a 30mm fan with the necessary screws it also has, and this is a 3.3 volt fan, and I actually tried to plug it in with the 5 volt, but it doesn't work. I don't know why, so that's why I will be using it only in the 3.5 volts so that it might not get damaged. And the micro SD card reader is nothing special, it's just a simple memory card reader, nothing too special about it, and it's a cap thing. So yeah, it's too simple, and it's from Zebronics, so a bit reputed company, but who knows how long it will last, so keep that out of the way if you want. Now let's take a look at these heat sinks, and these are pretty heavy in my opinion. I like to carry things that are heavy and small, so let's just take it out of the box. And I think I ripped the bag, so I don't know what type of seal they have made in here. There we go. So let's just take them out and see how they are. So these are aluminum heat sinks that are colored in different colors, so they will add, I think, a bit of color scheme to your Raspberry Pi, which is pretty nice. So you get 2 blue ones and one, I think it's a brass heatsink. So this will, I think, go onto the main processor. Let's just get our board over here and roughly place them on each thing. I think this one will go here, just like so. I don't know what goes on what, but I will look it up shortly and tell you. So I think you can imagine a rough image on how it will look like. And these are included with a sticky pad over at the bottom, so you can easily just peel off the tape, the double-sided tape, and just place them onto the processor. But be sure that once you place them, it will not move anywhere, so it's a permanent addition type thing. So if you want these to be permanently on, then only you need to place them, otherwise keep it like that because you want to keep its original look. Alright guys, so that was it for the unboxing. So hopefully this video was helpful for you to decide whether you should buy this kit or not. So thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe and share, and as always, I'll see you later.